question is, as a Krishna devotee, how do I kindly respond to people who say, humanity is greater than religion, humanity is God? Yes, it is it's a common thing to hear people say, humanity is religion, you have to be kind to people, you have to help others, that's real religion. Otherwise you can see people, they profess to be very religious, they'll go to a religious place, they will worship 3 times a day, and then they'll come out and murder people. So religion is the cause of all problems in this world. And some people quote that there are more wars have been fought in the name of religion than anything else. So we should be helping each other. We should be good to others. That's real religion. And some people say, Janata Seva hi Janardana Seva. You help other people, you serve human beings, that is as good as service to God. You don't need to serve God separately. Like I remember once, there was an article about one famous Bollywood star, Akshay Kumar. And the article was saying that Akshay Kumar in the beginning had a habit, every year he would go to Vaishno Devi, Katra, and he would donate some money. And since few years he has stopped that practice. Instead, he finds some needy person and hands over the money to him. He says, that's better than going and giving money in the temple. So, and there are people who say, why build temples? We should build hospitals. We should build schools. This is more necessary. What is the use of building a temple? Nobody is benefiting from it. So, humanity is equal to religion. Humanity is God. All these kind of things we can hear. Prabhupada gave a wonderful example. Suppose you are walking with your friend, and we have a wonderful beach here. You are walking on the beach with him. Nice cool breeze, waves of the ocean, and you are having a nice conversation with him, and you are walking along the beach. Suddenly one strong wave comes and it takes away your friend, and your friend doesn't know how to swim, and he starts shouting, save me, save me, save me. And you are a good swimmer, so what you will do? You will immediately jump into the water, swim up to him, catch hold of his shirt, and then come back out and, yes, I saved this man, wave the shirt in there. See, I have saved my friend, I saved my friend. What is the use of saving a shirt? There is no use of saving a shirt, right? You have to save the person who is within the shirt. So actually, first of all, when we say we have to serve humanity, means you have to serve another person. It's not some impersonal object that you are serving. When you say humanity, you have to serve actual living people, isn't it? So now when we speak of living people, do we know who they are? And are we actually serving them? Or are we simply serving their bodies, which are simply like a dress? Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Vasam sijirnani yatha vihaya navani grinnati naroparani tatha sarirani vihaya jirnani anyani samyati navani dehi. Krishna gives this very example. Vasam sijirnani. When our dress becomes old, I'm wearing a t-shirt or a kurta, it has become torn. What will I do? Vasam sijirnani yatha vihaya. We give it up. Oh, dress has become torn. It has become soiled. It has become stained. What do? We throw it away. We discard it. And after discarding it, what do? Navani grinnati. We take on a new dress. Stitch a new kurta. And you come to the temple, hey, new pinch, new kurta you are wearing. When we are kids, we used to have that, no? You wear a new dress and immediately all friends will come and pinch, new pinch, new pinch. At least in my childhood it used to be there. I don't know whether it's there now or not. So, it's a natural thing that you cannot wear one dress for decades together. After some time, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, naturally the dress will get worn out, it will become torn, it will become stained, it will lose its strength, the fabric will lose its strength. So you have to give it up. And you have to take on a new dress. Now Krishna says similarly, tata sharirani vihaya. Actually our bodies also are like dresses. The bodies become old, they become worn out. And we have to give up that body and we have to take on a new body. And this happens even within this very lifetime. Because in the previous verses, Krishna, what did he say? Dehinosmin yatha dehe kaumaram yavvanam jara. In this lifetime itself, we are born as infants, babies. Then we grow into young boys. Then we grow into youth. Then one day we'll become old. So, within this very lifetime, we are changing so many bodies. Now all of you are 25, 26, 28, years old, whatever your age is. If I were to tell you, when you were 5 years old, how were you looking? And you show me a photograph and I tell, now I want to see you like that. Can you show me? Hare Baba, how is it possible? That is how I used to be 20 years back. Now if you ask me to again look like that, it's not possible. So it was your own body. You were that small child 20 years ago. But now if I tell you that same form I want to see, can you show? It's not possible. You cannot show. That means that body of the child which you had 20 years back is no more there. It's gone. It will never come back again. It's finished. Gone, dead and gone. Similarly, the current body which you are having, 20 years later, 25 years later, 30 years later, it will not be there. You will look different. Your hair color will be different. How many teeth will be left over, we don't know. And whether you will still be able to see is a question mark. Your weight would have changed. So many things will change. So, even the present body which you are possessing, which you are thinking it is me, will not remain forever. Even that will go. So, this is like we constantly keep changing dresses, like that constantly we are changing bodies, even within this lifetime. And then when the point of death comes, what happens? Once for all, whatever body we are having, we give that up. And natural, as if we go by logic, simple plain logic, in this lifetime, every time I have given up a body, I have got another body. I gave up the body of the baby, I got the body of a child. I gave up the body of the child, I got a youthful body. I gave up the body of the youth, I got an old person's body. So now the old person's body, when I am giving up at the time of death, it is natural logic that I will get another body of a baby, and again the cycle will repeat. So like this, we are going on taking up new bodies, giving up old bodies, exactly like we change dresses. So now what we are thinking is, when we look at the body, I think that body is you. And I also, if you ask me who I am, I'll look at myself in the mirror and I'll say, this body that I'm seeing in the mirror, that is me. But that's not me. 10 years, 20 years later, that will not be there. What I'm seeing there as, what I'm perceiving as myself, it will not be there. So, then I don't know who I am, who I really am, when I don't know and I'm identifying wrongly with something else which I am not, then what is the greatest humanitarian service that you can do to such a person? Somebody is thinking, I'm this shirt, I'm this kurta. Kurta gets a little torn and I start crying, I'm torn. Now you can tell him one way to address the issue is, okay, I will stitch this one, I will darn the kurta and give it to you, I'll make it all right, don't worry. Okay, you can do that now, but no guarantee that the kurta again will not get torn. Eventually the kurta has to be torn and discarded, no. So what I should do, first thing I should do is educate him. Arey Baba, you are not the kurta, yaar. The kurta has got torn, you are not got torn. You are not the kurta, that is the first education I have to give him. If I am given that education, then I don't need to repair that torn kurta. I am relieving him once for all from that lamentation. Whenever the kurta gets torn, I am crying that I am torn. So you can imagine when the kurta gets totally, completely, it gets destroyed and you have to discard it, how much pain that person will go through. So if you simply keep repairing and and telling him, no, don't worry, I'll repair it for you, I'll correct it, don't worry. You keep doing that, what you're doing, you're only going to increase his pain. You're propagating, you're solidifying his wrong thinking that he is the kurta. Similarly, whatever the greatest humanitarian activity that we can do for a person who is identifying himself with the body is to show him he is not the body, he is a spirit soul, he is a servant of Krishna. There can be no greater service than this. And that is why you will see in the Bhagavad Gita also, if you see, Bhagavad Gita is the book of knowledge. Now in the book of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna does not talk about anything about dana, charity. He does not talk anything about humanitarian work, helping others, being good to others. Krishna doesn't talk about it at all in the Bhagavad Gita. Why? Is it wrong to do that? No, it is not wrong. If you look at the Vedas, many places it is said, you establish orphanages, you establish places for the treatment of the illnesses of people. You do all these kind of things. You help a poor person, you give food to a poor person, you give annadana. All these things are pious activities. It's already described in the Vedic scriptures. But Krishna doesn't talk about any of those things. Krishna talks about, why? Because in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is talking of a very higher status of knowledge. And if we give this knowledge that you are not the body, you are spirit soul to a person, what is the effect? Krishna tells him in the Bhagavad Gita, Yam labdva chaparam labham manyate nadikam tataha. Once we get the knowledge of the Bhagavad Gita, I am a spirit soul, I am servant of Krishna, Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then you feel, I have got the most valuable thing in which a person can possess. There is nothing which can be more valuable than this. You can, as part of humanity, you can help a person, you can give him 100 rupees, you can give 1,000 rupees, you can give 10,000 rupees, you can give 1 lakh rupees, you can give 1 crore of rupees also. But if you give this knowledge, even if you give 1,000 crore rupees also to a person who has got this knowledge, he will say this is nothing, useless. If you ask him to weigh, on one hand you have 1,000 crores, another is the knowledge of the Bhagavad Gita, which is heavier. Knowledge of the Bhagavad Gita is heavier. No, nothing in this world can compare to the knowledge of the Bhagavad Gita. Nothing can be more valuable than this. This is the effect of getting this knowledge. Not only that, Krishna says, once you get the knowledge of the Bhagavad Gita, dukkhena gurunapi na vichalyate. Even in the greatest calamity, you will not feel even slightly disturbed. What is all this humanity about? Humanity means you want to relieve the suffering of the people. So, this relieving the suffering of the people, how do? You try to treat people of their disease. Establish a charitable hospital. Now you establish a charitable hospital, give free treatment to everybody. So once a person comes there, he takes free treatment and goes back. Is there a guarantee that he will not get any more sick in this life? No. He will again fall sick. Again he will have to come. Or in the hospital you give 1 tablet to all the patients who come. You take this 1 tablet, you will not fall sick anymore in your life. Can you do that? Not possible. So what have you done in the hospital? Stopgap solution. Temporarily, for the time being, little relief you gave him. But the moment he goes out, again disease will come or some other problem will come. Adhyatmika klesha, you solve the problem of his mind and disease, you solve the mind and body, the problem of the mind and body of getting disease, you solve that. But there are other kleshas also. Adidaivika klesha. It will become extremely hot, like this summer has been sweltering hot in India. How do you solve that? You cannot solve that. And you will have shortage of water, you will have floods, you will have droughts. How can you solve all these things? These problems will come one after another. And suppose there is no such problem, weather is very good, you are getting good rains, there are no issues, there are no floods, everything is going fine. Then Adi Bhautika Klesha, the other living entities will come and give you trouble. China will come and attack you. Pakistan will send terrorists. Your neighbor will come and he will break, some glass on your window. Nothing else. One mosquito will come and start biting you. Have you noticed? Whenever the weather is very good, that's when the mosquito will come. Adi Daivika Klesha is removed, Adi Bhaudika Klesha will come. And when the summer becomes too hot, fan you're putting, AC is not working, it's so hot, then mosquito will not come. Because already you are suffering. Adi Daivika Klesha is going on, why Adi Bhaudika Klesha is required? Not required. Now suppose both of them is not there. You'll switch on AC, comfortable, you're sleeping peacefully. Mosquito is also not there, put one all out. Next day you'll wake up with a cold. Because too much AC, chilling. Adhyatmika klesha. Something or the other is troubling you. So, what are you achieving by all your humanitarian work? Have you solved the problem of Adibhautika klesha? Have you solved the problem of Adidaivika klesha? Have you solved the problem of Adhyatmika klesha? You have not solved any of these things. Your only patchwork you are doing. Like the roads, they do patchwork, right? One pothole comes, they'll go and in that area they'll put one, some asphalt and they'll make something. Whenever the vehicle goes over it, the person who's sitting in the car, my God, what is this? Why can't they do a proper job? And then when it rains, all the potholes will get again opened up. So, this kind of work, what is the use in doing? It's not helping anyone. So, we have to know that's like somebody jumping into the ocean and taking saving the shirt of the drowning man. You don't know whom to save. First of all, accept that you are in ignorance. You don't know who you are. You don't know who others are. Then when you don't even know who you are and who others are, what help will you do for others? What humanitarian work will you do for others? Therefore, the greatest humanitarian work is to give a person knowledge that he is not the body, he is spirit, soul, and he is servant of Krishna. And that is why in the Bhagavad Gita also Krishna says that jnanena sadrisam, there is nothing greater than knowledge. What kind of knowledge? Not the knowledge what we study in our schools and colleges. The knowledge which is given in the Bhagavad Gita. What is the knowledge given in the Bhagavad Gita? That we are eternally servant. Mamaivamso jivaloke jivabhuta sanatana. We are eternally part and parcel of Krishna. And Krishna is the source of everything else. Aham sarvasya prabhavo mattaha sarvam pravartate. So, when we understand this knowledge is the greatest knowledge. Why? Why is that? How is that different from the other kinds of knowledge we get in this material world? You go and study engineering, you go and study MBBS. How is this knowledge different from that? Because all that knowledge that you study there will not give you liberation from the threefold miseries. It will not give you liberation from the cycle of birth, death, disease and old age. Whereas if you cultivate this knowledge in the Bhagavad Gita, that you are spirit soul, eternally part and parcel of Krishna, and Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then what is the result? Krishna says, Yad jnatva, by knowing this, janma karma chame divyam. So, but just by understanding Krishna's activities, Krishna's birth, all these things are transcendental. Evam yo veti tattvataha, one who understands this perfectly. What happens to him? He says, Janma karma chame divyam, evam yo janati tattvataha, tyaktva deham punarjanmana iti mameti soarjuna. When we come to the point of death, we give up the body, we give up this dress, but we don't have to accept another body again, where we will again be subjected to birth, death, disease and old age, and we have to continuously undergo these three kinds of miseries, Adhyatmika, Adibhautika, Adidaivika klesha, forever liberated. We can enjoy a completely blissful life without any distress in the spiritual world. This is what is being offered in the Vedic scriptures in the Bhagavad Gita. So which is better? To keep a person perpetually in this material world full of birth, death, disease and old age, and to keep him suffering, or to give him liberation once for all. Which is better? If you go to a jail, prison, there are so many inmates there. And there are many NGOs which go and do so many charitable work for the prisoners. Suppose we also go to the prison and we make lot of good arrangements for them, good beds for them to sleep, and good food for them to eat, and nice clothes for them to wear. All those things you can do. But are we really helping them? And there is another person who comes and he says, I'll work out a way in which all of you prisoners can become freed from this prison. So who is better? The person who is taking all the jail inmates out of jail, he is giving them an opportunity to become free and become part of the regular society, or somebody is going on, coming and giving you many things and keeping you permanently in the prison. Which is better? It is better, more intelligent to take you out of the jail. And this material world is actually a jail. It is a prison house for reforming all the conditioned souls who have rebelled against the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, therefore, we have to understand helping others, humanity, all that is good. But what is the highest humanitarian work that you can do? You have to aim for that. That is why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also said, Janma sarthaka karo, karo paropakara. Do paropakara, do humanitarian work. Our mission, our organization is meant for humanitarian work, but not ordinary humanitarian work. Our humanitarian work is the highest humanitarian work, which is to tell every living entity about Krishna, about his forgotten relationship with Krishna. So therefore, to do this, to spread the message of the Bhagavad Gita, is the highest humanitarian activity. This is the reality. But of course, to respond to people like this, people will not be able to understand. So when people say, humanity is the greatest thing and this is the greatest religion and all that, you say, okay, fine, yes, we also accept. But what is that humanitarian activity? We don't have to tell. We say, okay, you take Krishna Prasadam. Bring them to the temple. You are such a good man, you are doing so much humanitarian work. You should come to the temple and take Prasadam. He'll feel happy, he'll come. And you give them Krishna Prasadam, give them a book of Prabhupada, give them the knowledge. Slowly they will also read, they will also understand. Okay? Because before coming and reading Prabhupada's books, we also did not have this understanding. We also used to think like this, isn't it? Before coming to read, before reading Prabhupada's books, if anybody were to tell us, humanity is the greatest religion, humanity is better than, serving Janardhan, Janata Seva is Janardhan Seva, would you have any answer? You will be thinking, yes, this is true. But now you have a different understanding, because at that time you are in ignorance, now you are in knowledge. So somebody is in ignorance, you cannot all of a sudden bring to your stage of knowledge. You are already in, you are doing B.Tech and all that. Somebody is learning 2 plus 2 is equal to 4, he does not know, and you are thinking, I will teach him Lagrange's theorem. Poor fellow does not know how to do differential calculus and integral calculus. Arey bhaiya, first teach him 2 plus 2 is 4. No. So first bring him to the temple, give him Krishna Prasadam. First make him understand you are not the body, you are spirit soul. Gradually bulb will start glowing on its own in his head. You don't have to tell. Automatically he will realize what he is doing, saying is foolishness. Understand? So this is how we have to approach.